Good day again. Welcome to the Now Reality podcast with Lady Colleen Heller, and our special guest today is.
Hi, I'm Samantha Brook from Happiness Club, and thank you so much for having me. It's a real pleasure.
Yeah, well, we're excited to have you here. Sam, I met in Egypt quite a while ago. We were both expats there and both ran into each other on a journey, and then one went one way, one went the other way, and that was, that's life, right? But
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? I can't believe it. I think it was 14 years ago,
it has to
maybe 15.
maybe 15. You actually. Well, I'm here. No, it's more. It's more than that because I've been here like back in the States since 2013, and I didn't see you for like years before that. So maybe three. Yeah, maybe 16, 15, 16. But it's a
Yeah,
long time.
I didn't move to Egypt until 2008, and I think I met you the year after. Or maybe it was 2008. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's a while. We know each other.
Yeah.
We ran each other a while. We both had different things, but I was still doing what I do there, which was kind of like a different version of what I do now. But we all know how we get where we get. I've never left the field of alternative or vibrational medicine, and also anything that had to do with healing, reading, bringing people empowerment. I've always done that. And Sammy also worked with me for a little while and had firsthand experience with that as well. What do you remember of that time as far as the healings go and what you witnessed or you understood from that time?
Oh, that's a good question. I remember having a healing with you and going very deep, which is always a lovely feeling. I always think that's a sign of a really powerful healing. Um, I think my favourite memory is when we had the Eid celebration in the desert and ate the goat.
They always eat goat.
Yeah, that's the first time and probably the last time I've ever eaten goat. And I have to admit, I was a bit nervous, but it was absolutely delicious.
Yeah, they know what they're doing out there. When
That
you
was an
think,
incredible experience.
yeah, when you think back on that, how nothing they have, like nothing.
Mm.
And making all this food and very communal and they're really caring about each other. It's kind of like an old Italian family, but it was an old Bedouin one instead.
Yeah.
But like any family, there's problems as you go.
Mm. And the sound healing when me and Amy kept getting the giggles.
Yeah. But this happens when you're trying to adjust. It's uncomfortable.
Mm.
Your immediate response is, oh, this is kind of like funny, but it isn't really. Your body's trying to adjust, so you laugh. And it was fine.
Mm.
Yeah, we did a lot of stuff. But anyway, that was then. Today, Sammy, well, actually, before today, even in Egypt, when Sammy and I were working together in Cairo, Sammy had we had spoken about doing something that was going to be more communal, like have a community day on a Friday, which we took the Felucca out and we did uh, different projects and soundings and drummings, and many things happened on the Felucca with people. They really loved that, but that was your idea. I just ran with it.
Mm. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah, because I was doing something similar in the UK before I went to Egypt. And yeah, and that's kind of where that came from. And that's also where my what I'm currently doing, that was the initial seed for that as well.
Yeah, I realized that when I found you again, and you had the happiness club. I was like, oh, there you go. So say here it is, you know, and you're doing that because you have this kind of bubbly, childlike personality side of you.
Oh, thank you. I'll take that as a compliment.
It is an extraordinary compliment because I wish people could just remember where they came from.
Mm.
They came from joy. They were taught to be something else, but they came from that. So yeah, it suits you, it really does.
I
So
just had a
tell me,
flashback of that picture of me laughing, and you said I looked like a camel.
a compliment yet again. I love my
I
camel.
I did take it as a compliment.
That's good too. Uh, so tell us a little bit about you now, Sammy.
So, I moved back to the UK in 2011, and really probably ever since, well, even before that, like I say, I already had the seed of the idea when I was in Egypt about setting up a happiness club to help people learn to be happy. And that's been kind of germinating for the last, well, since then, I can't even count how many years that is. And it's really only now, or it's kind of evolved over the years. So I started off writing a blog about my experience of how I overcame mental health problems. I was on antidepressants for 26 years, and I was able to come off them 6 years ago. So I started blogging about my experience, and I did this for a number of reasons. One, because I felt it was quite cathartic, but also because I wanted people to be able to realise it's not just them, that they could read it and go, oh, I'm so pleased that I'm not the only one that feels like that. And I think it takes away the stigma when we talk about it. And then it's like a virtuous circle. The more I start talking about it, then other people start talking about it. And then it becomes okay to talk about these kinds of things. And then that evolved into I produced an online course a few years ago about Happiness Club for Unlimited Self-Esteem. That then evolved into a regular monthly event, which I now hold locally, where people come and we focus on the positives and gratitude and what we're proud of. And now this year, at the end of this year, I've got a book coming out and I'm launching my online membership. And that has been, it's something I've wanted to do for a long time, but for various reasons, I think a lot of it was fear was holding me back. But also I realised that over the last year, I've done a lot of, I mean, I've been working on myself for years and years and years since I was 21, so it's nearly 30 years ago. But over the last year, I've done a lot of healing, and I think that I probably needed to do that before I could now move on to where I am now.
Yeah, I
And
think we all travel a certain way to get where we are.
yeah, exactly. And I think things happen at the right time, for the right reason and all that kind of
Absolutely.
thing.
Well, the question I want to start off with, because joy is, I use joy as my main word. I don't use love anymore. I
Mm,
stopped using love a long time ago. And people say, well, why don't you use the word love? Because love has so many connotations to it. I mean,
mm,
love can bring grief, love can bring pain, love can bring betrayal. Love isn't just a one thing. It's got all these things that create and you have to fight for and bring. That's not joy or happiness, right? So
mm,
I switched over. Really, joy was after I had that last near death, which was 4 years ago. And then it
mm,
was just, you know, joy is the word. Okay, fine. Like vast is the word. Okay,
mm,
fine. So I think I've spent all this time on that. Your word is happiness.
mm.
So tell me, what is happiness really?
That is a very good question. I think that happiness is an inside job. It's people think that they'll be happy when they get what they want, but actually, paradoxically, people get what they want when they become happy. And we do obviously when good things happen to us, if we get a new boyfriend, if we get a new job, if we get pay rise, that's gonna give us happiness in the moment, but it's not lasting happiness. And for me, lasting happiness is kind of a deep inner peace of knowing that everything is okay. And even when things seem like they're not okay, I can remind myself that I've been here before and that it's past and that I've got the tools and techniques that I need to to handle, whatever comes.
I'm I struggle a little bit with people's version of how they get to happiness. For me, it's a choice.
Mm,
I know that life hands us situations, and we try to deal with them the best way we can. But there are ways that you can do that. You can deal with them through anger and stress and upset and anxiety, or you can feel those things coming up and say, no, do some breath techniques, which I offer, and get yourself lined up and then deal with it from a place of happiness or joy. So you
mm,
are changing your mindset almost immediately. And that sooner or later becomes your new pattern. You
mm,
stop starting with that because you're taught that, but you stop that as you replace one for the other, you start being that. And it takes you no time at all to just flip out of the anxiety and stress level and go right into the, yeah, but there's reasons for everything and da 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 da. We say all these things, but we don't put any emotion behind them. They're just
mm,
flippant phrases, right? Well,
mm,
you get what you deserve. Like, do we?
mm.
I deserve joy. That's what I deserve.
I
So
love that.
yeah, anytime some flippin' thing comes on, I always go, and joy's the answer. I like totally change it into that's where my now reality is. It is
So,
joy.
so when you say you choose happiness and you use breathing techniques, is that your main technique for choosing happiness, or do you have other techniques for choosing
No,
happiness?
yeah, I still am doing all the different empowerment courses. I've been doing them straight through. I have, since the near death 4 years ago, developed a whole new healing technique called VEMS. It's a vibrational, energetic movement sound, 8-minute thing you do to totally balance yourself out. And all you emerge with is someone who's meditated for 2 hours. And
Wow.
there you are. And it includes all the fun stuff like making sounds and moving and making symbolism and all the different things together in 8 minutes. Get up, put the sound on your video and just do it. So I'm still creating different modalities for people to use, but all the breath techniques that I use now are so people can quickly, because we're lazy.
Mm,
We
mm,
want it to
absolutely.
happen. Yeah, I mean, I need you to do something that's faster than an aspirin
Yeah,
because
exactly.
yeah. So your breath and you being hydrated, these are things you can do all the time. So I do spend time on sound and movement and breath, a lot of breath work so people can get to it. And then all the courses, Goya and insights and all the things that I do are still going on because people need community.
Mm,
These
yeah,
are,
definitely.
yeah, the things you get to work on immediately for yourself, but then you do want to talk and you do want to go through things. And I love giving projects so people can, at the end of the week, say, I did this and this is what I came up with. And somebody in the group is going, oh, I understand. I did that. Oh, that happened to me. And all of a sudden, what do you have? You have fearlessness.
So is FEMS like a daily practice? Is it a prevention rather than a cure, or is it something you would do daily and you can do it in the moment if you need something in the moment?
It's definitely prevention. It also lends to self-healing, so to the cure. You can do it anytime you want. I think it's great to do in the morning or before bed because the idea is to align yourself quickly. Sometimes
Mm,
people have a lot of dreams. Sometimes people didn't sleep well. So you're bringing that into your morning. So you can choose to do VEMS then, or I like to really do a lot of that kind of movement and sound and quiet to go to sleep. So I'm
mm.
lined up for sleep. And my dreams are brighter. Not always, do you remember every dream, but there's more light to them because I don't have my body stressed out when I'm going to bed. So you can choose how you want to use VEMS. Yeah. I think you'd like it. I'll have to show it to you one day. It's also on recording. So let me go. It doesn't have to be done every day. You benefit mostly from doing it every day. Just like anything, when you repeat and and repeat, your body will then sooner or later start to do that from simpler things. But it is 8 minutes. Did you have
Great.
another question about that before we go on?
Yeah, I just wanted to go back to what you said about choosing happiness. If you say that you can choose like happiness in any moment, do you believe that you can be happy 100% of the time?
No, I don't think anyone that's a human with all the emotions we have can say, I'm happy 100% of the time. It's about how much time you spend in unhappiness that changes, not the fact that you won't ever be unhappy. There,
Mm,
if someone dies, you are not going to be hee hee yahoo. You're not.
mm,
You're going to feel it, and it's okay. But feel it for you. Are you feeling it for them? Is it they're not being there? So it's really about you. It's not, oh, poor they left. No, they're fine. It's
mm,
it's so what it triggers in you is where the look should go. And that's not what happens with grief. People are just, they left me, I need them, I want to hug them. Okay, so where's the missing part? What is it about you? So anytime there's anything major like that, you must, if you choose joy, it doesn't hit you as hard or for as long because you're willing to look. But some people it
mm.
takes a bit of time for. So you can't be happy 100% of the time.
So can you delve into a bit more? I've got something else. I've got something to tell you in a minute about choosing happiness. But before we move on to that, can you delve in a bit more to oh my I've lost the thread of what I was going to say. Oh yes. Can you delve into a bit more what somebody would do if they are grieving or if they're experiencing something deeply upsetting? How can they use what you teach to deal with grief or something else that's deeply upsetting?
All right, so basically I'm a naturist, so I believe nature has keys that we never really bother to use. And so the first thing I would say when somebody has grief is to take your shoes off and go outside and stand on the
Mm,
ground
mm,
immediately. And if you can do more than that, lay on the ground. And as much of your skin on the ground is most important. The balancing that nature offers you immediately is undeniable.
mm,
It's why I taught tree wisdom so people could learn how to approach a tree, what you do with a tree. Can you hear a tree? Can you hug a tree? And what's the benefits? Science is now
mm,
proving what I've been doing for almost 5 decades. Count them, 5 decades. I have been teaching this based on my own experience, right? And then my clients or my students' experiences. And we know this to be true. But now science is saying, guess what?
mm,
You can talk to a tree. Oh, thanks. So most importantly is to get away from humans. Most
mm.
importantly is to get
And the
outside.
phone.
Oh, no. Anything electronic is going to cause you distraction and distortion. 5G is the worst thing ever created so far. And
Oh,
now they're
don't even get
making,
me started on that
yeah.
one.
But that is going to take think of somebody that was in grief in the 40s and somebody that's in grief now. It's a whole nother world. That
Mm,
grief now will last much longer. All of it is because we are bombarded with not just bad air, but also
mm.
all the electrical stuff going through our bodies.
And so many toxins
Yeah, crazy.
in everything. Which brings me to another question. Do you think nutrition affects our happiness?
Yes. There's no way you can take nutrition out of the equation. In fact, the documentary we were doing called Vast, entitled To Heal, is about self-healing. And that means the self, including what you put in the self, are extremely valuable to how you'll live a happy, joyful life. And remove disease. So there is no disease. You
Mm,
get a chance to prevent because you're finding that balanced place in the body. But if you're eating processed foods filled with chemicals, you're probably not going to live as long as someone else who's not doing that. I mean,
mm.
basically, Sammy, if it's in a package, you shouldn't be eating it.
No, absolutely.
And no one's doing that. If it's in a package, don't buy it. You can make
Yeah.
your own pasta. It's flour and water. Look, we did it in signing. You can make your own bread. It takes no time. There's lots of ways you can do these things, but people are lazy. So
Mm,
giving them the easiest way to do it, that's what they're going to do. And, when they say now you're eating organic, we know for a fact that's not necessarily true anymore. It used to be, but it's
mm,
not. Now it's like got to be non-GMO and organic, or it's not. The way that they want to keep you sick, the way they want you to be ill so that they can give you chemicals, so you can buy pharmaceuticals, so you can pretend you're getting better and you're not, it's devastating to humanity, what they're doing to people. So
oh,
you
it's
have to be
yeah,
diligent, I think.
absolutely. I saw a video the other day. Somebody said that there's toxins and heavy metals in tampons, and I couldn't believe it. And then I thought, why am I even surprised?
Yeah, I told from a long time ago, I made sure that what I taught was if it doesn't say cotton on it, don't put it in.
Mm,
And it did until it didn't, because now we can make the woman sicker by sticking metal up her. I mean,
mm,
it really is all about keeping you underfoot, under control, and under healthed.
mm.
Yeah. So there's no happiness there.
No.
It doesn't matter how much our mindset is set. If we are not also listening to our body and trying to do the best we can, then you will have fleeting happiness, fleeting joy, because like you said, if happiness is an inside job, then you need to work inside out,
Yeah,
right?
that's so true. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's not looked at. Even during the documentary, my heart surgeon, because also when I almost had the near death, I had heart failure.
Mm,
I had heart failure. And he came to go through the protocols we were filming to support me because he understands what I was saying for all these years. And he's 100% behind it. And because he's so high ranked in the system, no one's going to tell him no. So he just said, yeah, I'm coming. Where other doctors said, no, HR won't like it. We aren't
mm,
supposed to say that thing. And we're not supposed to support that. He was like, yeah, what time?
mm.
It
I'm
was,
really looking forward to seeing this documentary.
oh, me too. Me too. I'm looking forward to seeing the promo first because that's coming first. But
Mm,
we've been working on this for 3 years and we're going to work on it longer. It's not just done. But it was so exciting to have all these people of all different ages, 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, 70-year-olds, all ages doing these different protocols that I brought for this group and having different fields, lawyers, doctors, triple surgeons, uh, children in school, all of them doing it and the place like just vibrating off the chart. It was an extraordinary and gifted moment. Well, 2 days ago.
mm.
Yeah,
Well,
it
yeah,
will
it
be
sounds
great when we get it
incredible.
out, but you will know when that happens.
I'm sure I will.
So tell me, Sammy, what is one of the things you want to, or maybe 5 things that you would tell people about how they can become happier?
Well, you've already mentioned nature. It's, I think getting out, first of all, getting outside, just getting some fresh air. If you can get out in nature, then that's even better. Um, Gratitude is very important. I've been practicing gratitude on and off for years, but this year I've started actually writing it down every day in a journal, and I can see how much more consistently happier I am on a regular basis. So that's been interesting. Meditation, regular meditation practice.
When you say meditation, what does that mean? Like, how do you meditate?
I think it's different for everyone. I never used to like guided meditations because I felt that your brain, when you're meditating, your brain needs a chance to kind of switch off.
Mm-hmm.
But I've found some guided meditations recently that I have found to be very beneficial. So I think it's important to find what works for you. There's some really good apps that can teach you how to meditate. Can I mention those?
No,
Okay.
thanks. Because then they're going to have to go find them and write them down, and people
Yeah.
aren't listening and they're driving their cars. So at the end, though, we'll say this so they can go back.
Yeah.
People like to look at podcasts at the very end for things they're missing. And also, I have a description that they can go back
Mm.
and read. So
Okay,
we'll
brilliant.
put it in the description. So that's why no. But so my question about meditation, which is something I get asked all the time, is you're doing a guided meditation. Well, so your mind's busy. You're not really in a state of centered because you're
Mm.
listening. So your mind's still going. How is that a meditation?
Is that what people ask you, or
Mhm.
is that your answer? What do you say when people ask you that? Ask you that?
Well, I'm going to ask you that, and then I'll tell you what I say.
I previously I would have said don't do a guided meditation because your brain doesn't get a chance to switch off. However, I have since this year I've been doing some guided meditations and I found them very beneficial. So my personal from my based on my personal experience, I would say mix it up. Do some guided meditations and do some where your brain gets a chance to switch off. But I think I find that if it's a good guided meditation, my brain will switch off. I can feel that I'm a similar experience as what I mentioned earlier about when I had the healing with you in Sinai, how I went into that kind of deep trance. I actually find that with some of the guided meditations, I find it easier to get into that deep trance state than I do if I'm just trying to meditate without a guide.
Um, so when someone asks me about this, about the guided meditation versus um, not, first thing I have to assess is why are you asking me that? So
Mm,
are you a busy mind? Is your day crazy? Can you stop? Is it difficult for you to stop? Someone who can't stop because they're not used to just sitting and because we're taught it's not okay. You got to keep going, got to keep going, got to keep building.
mm.
So if they can't just stop, a guided meditation is great for them to understand the mind can think about this one thing because the mind can't multitask. Everyone thinks you can do all these things at once and you absolutely can't. You just do them half-assed, really. So if you are listening to a guided meditation and the person is telling you to breathe while you're doing it, listen to this, you're following something that brings you that place of inner calm, you will possibly not hear them speaking any longer. They'll be speaking, but your breathing took over and your relaxation took over and you go deep.
Mm,
I've had many people come out of a guided meditation and say, I don't know what you said after a while. I said, no, that's fine. So,
I love it when that happens.
yeah, but this is not what people are taught. They're not taught that that's okay or that that's an option.
Mm.
If
So,
I have I'm sorry, if I have people from my insights group or people that have been working with me for years, it is completely breath work to silence. And then I have them set their own image, whatever they want, if they use it. And they come out of their breath, then I bring them out of through breath work, I bring them back up. And, they're like logs. They're so heavy from being really deep internal.
mm,
And that's a different way of meditating. But no one teaches you that either. So it's like when someone says to you from the beginning, "Oh, go meditate," it'd be or what do I do? I don't know. I'll just be quiet. No, the brain's not going to let you be quiet.
mm,
So it took a while to understand that because that wasn't my thing. I didn't teach meditation.
mm.
Taught them drumming to get to center, sounding things, but later in life I had to answer the questions. So then I had to spend more time studying the answers through my own experience and through my students.
So does the breath work for people who find it difficult to switch their brains off?
Yes, because first thing I do is get them to do a very quick, easy one that will line up the vagus nerve, get rid of all the chatter, balance the electromagnetic side of ourselves. So we're in this state and they feel better instantly. And then they can go into longer breathing techniques.
Mm,
But this one simple breath technique you can do anytime you like. It's really quick. I'm going to show you it now, Sammy. All
oh,
right.
lovely.
Yeah. So let's
I
do
might
it.
not come back though.
No, you will. It's only
Might be off with the fairies.
you can only do it twice and then you have to not do it. Otherwise, you are going to be off.
Okay.
So you have to sit up, make sure your feet are flat on the floor, your hands are on your thighs, open, fingers, hands down, palms down, and just settle into your body, settle into your seat. And you're simply going to close your eyes and follow what I'm saying. So you'll be inhaling, exhaling. Now inhale through your nose and exhale. Exhaling through your nose. One more time, just to get your own breath. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Now I want you to inhale deeply as long as you can. Deep, deep inhale through your nose and stop. Inhale. More, 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 more. Stop. Now inhale on top of that again. And exhale with a hum. When you're out, you just stop until you're out of breath. Keep going till you're out. Good. Now we do it again, but faster. Inhale through the nose. Inhale, whip it up. Faster, faster, faster. Now, again, a short one on top. And hum out. Until you're out of breath. Keep going. Breathe through your nose in and out. Nice and easy. Your eyes are still closed. Nice and easy. Feel your body. I'm going to ask you a question and you answer it right away. What are you thinking of right now?
I'm smiling and laughing.
Okay. But before that, nothing.
No.
Exactly. Nothing. Stops your brain.
Mm.
Lines up your vagus nerve.
I love that.
It's quick. It's easy. Teach everyone.
We should have had this whole conversation. I wish we'd have had it before I wrote my book. I've signed off the final manuscripts last week. I'm going to have to either write a sequel or a second edition.
Yeah, or you can get mine and you can add it to yours. I have 3 books. One is Vast, entitled To Heal. One is Vast, the workbook of finding self-healing and what you weren't taught. The other one is The Ancient Wheel of Wisdom, which has all the festivals and honoring nature. So
Oh, lovely.
2 of them are, one of them's with the editor because I do not edit. No. And they're too big. It's like, 300 pages. I'm not editing. I don't know what, take this out. Yeah, but I need that, but I don't, but I think I do. So I'm horrible at editing.
Well, I've just gone through that process for the first time. Actually, it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I was dreading it.
That's good. That's good. So these techniques bring you joy. But to me, happiness, like you said, is an inside job. I think happiness is something that happens to you. Joy is something you bring. So you surround yourself in joy. But happiness is something that makes you that way. It's a response. I'm happy because this happened. I'm happy. Like you said, a boyfriend, a new job. I got that car I always wanted. Oh, I love this new friend. All these are happiness, but they come to you. It's something that happens. Joy is something you have to emanate. You have to be able to do that and surround it. It's much like saying, what's the universe? I'll say it lives in vast. Vast is the space, and the universe is inside that, and you can go whatever way you want.